John's model of structured reflection is another staged model that we need to consider as reflective practitioners. And we can deepen our understanding of this model by thinking about each of these stages in turn. And as a very popular model, what we need to do is make sure that we're not only using it to describe experience and our interpretation of that experience, but also to use it as a model to help us learn from that experience and also to put into action change activities which can help us improve our experience. The first stage is about describing the event or experience that we've experienced in the classroom. And we ask questions in relation to this model. There are a number of questions that we ask, and we ask questions around what happened, who was involved, how did that happen, and what were the consequences of those particular events in the classroom. This beginning stage is essentially about laying the foundations for the reflection to happen. Stage 2 of the model moves from pure description into the emotional response, our thinking about the experience and our feelings about the experience. And the model uses questions here to help us focus our attention. What was significant about the experience? What was I thinking at the time? How did I feel at the time when this thing happened? And so in stage 2, we're not considering just the experience, but we're just considering our own response to it. And because we're just looking at our response to the experience, we're not trying to look at both together, and therefore perhaps adding confusion to the reflection process. As discrete stages, we're able to focus on particular areas of our understanding. In terms of what happens next, after reflecting on the experience, describing it, and after reflecting on our feelings, we need to undertake evaluation of the experience. What was good and what was bad about it? What were the consequences of our actions as teachers? What were the consequences of the things that happened? And we can use this evaluation then to lead us into the next stage of the process, which is analysis. This is where we are trying to reason and make meaning for ourselves about the experience and our feelings in relation to the experience. And so there are questions here which we can ask around helping us understand and make sense of the experience. What factors were important in relation to the experience? And it could be about people's actions, but it could also be about our own values and assumptions in relation to our role in the classroom, or in relation to the experience, or indeed in relation to our relationships with students. And we can also analyze our feelings and thoughts around those responses. And we're, of course, asking questions at this point in relation to the theory, the knowledge which is around us, and trying to make sense of the experience, of the acquired knowledge in relation to the existing knowledge. And we can ask questions like, how did others feel? How did the students feel? And what could be done differently? How could it be done differently? Why does it need to be done differently? Would it need to be done differently at all? Would the same thing happen again? And then stage 5 of the model is about making conclusions and developing action plans. Making conclusions in relation to how you feel as a teacher in relation to the experience. What would you do differently? And importantly, what did you learn from that experience? How would you change your practice? How would you change yourself? What would you change in the organization, perhaps, in relation to that experience? And how would you take it forward? And what would you do now if you're in similar if you're in a similar situation. And this whole process of questioning through different stages takes the reflective practitioner on a journey, a cognitive journey, and a process of thinking about experience and about their own role in the experience, which creates a model which is very easy to apply and therefore very popular.